And we're recording, and let's go to game 4. This could be match point. We
Match
have
point for Uma Popsidin and or Henry, as we've been calling him. Not
we
his
have
real name, by the way.
we have Henry up 2 games on El Dorado, a great map for some early aggression. Look how close these two bases are to each other.
Wow. So are we gonna see? What are we gonna see? Are we gonna see a casual tournament classic, the Zealot Rush? Are we gonna see roaches coming out early? Are we gonna see a cannon rush like Jago got to in the first game?
We could see some workers come and mine out these rich minerals here, and we could see some. We could see all kinds of cool proxy stuff. We could see proxy gateways. We could see another proxy Stargate. We could see a cannon rush. Let's check on what the players are building. Looks like Henry just moving out his Overlord.
Yeah, Henry likes to use those big dopey overlords to go look at the maps. He's expressed that he's not super familiar with all the different map configurations. In fact, he's been saying that he's been missing a lot of these rich mineral fields that have been around. So I wonder.
Actually, this map kind of interesting because of these rich minerals. In the very, very early game, you have kind of a long rush distance because you need to get through these mineral fields first. And then in the mid game, you have a very short rush distance. So I think air units are really good on this map. I wonder if we'll see a Stargate maybe out of Jago this game, or a Spire out of Henry.
Zergs have a pretty strong sort of harassing air unit, right?
Yes, the Mutalisk is the harassing air unit for the Zerg. And we could definitely see some mutas in this game.
Use those guys.
We have 2 assimilators, a gateway, and a forge out of Jago.
What does that mean to you?
I don't know why he built this forge. He doesn't have any probes out on the map, so I don't think he's going to make any cannons. We'll have to see. Maybe Jago is going for the Stargate. Maybe we will see some oracles out of Jago, or maybe we'll see what's this probe going to make. I think this will tell us a lot. It's a cybernetics core. Okay, that makes sense. So we'll have to see Jago's next building, and that'll tell us a lot about his intentions for this game.
Yeah, Jago's expressed that he's kind of going into the vault, his mind palace, if you will, and kind of rediscovering old strategies that he's seen or known, interacted with previously. The Templar drop strategy that he had in the last game, he said he remembered it from before, though the Templars are a little different from the last time he played, so it worked out a little differently than he thought it would.
Jago doing a good job making his workers, actually ahead a little bit on workers compared to Henry. Henry with his second base, making his queens. Perfect. We see some solid economic gameplay. We see Jago sending a Zealot across the map. I think this Zealot is more just to kind of see what's going on over at Henry's base rather than for any kind of real aggression.
Yeah, he did this in one of the previous games too, and he was able to kill a couple things with it actually. But
we have the Zealot and Probe passing each other like ships in the night in the middle of the map.
Perfect. So you can tell neither of these guys are microing these. Like they're not letting themselves get distracted, which is great. Last time we saw Jago have a really hard time developing while he was microing a Zealot.
Just trying to see what their opponent is up to. We have the Zealot and the Queen are gonna fight in the middle of the map. The Zealot is actually, I think this is a little bit of an overreaction, pulling all of these drones to deal with the Zealot, but the Zealot is gonna run away.
Can the Zealot 1v1 the Queen there?
No. And anyway, Henry had another queen up in his main base, so he could have brought that queen down and killed that Zealot easily.
Gotcha. Do you think it's more detrimental for his development to bring his queen down or to bring his little workers over?
I think it's much worse for his development to pull his workers off the mineral line. Way worse. But not a big deal, not a huge deal, just a little bit of an overreaction. And now a spine crawler, so this natural expansion is going to be pretty safe from any early aggression.
Now, I don't think I saw Henry.
We do see the Twilight Council again out of Jago. And the robotics facility.
Templars, right?
The Twilight Council has upgrades for Zealots and Stalkers, but it does unlock the tech tree, and the Zealot's going to walk into a whole bunch of Zerglings, just get absolutely nibbled to death.
Yeah, absolutely brutal. Big man, big power armor, dies to some bugs.
The other thing that makes this map rough for the Zerg and kind of favorite for the Protoss is your third base is blocked. There's minerals that you have to mine before you can take this third base, and this third base very, very open, very vulnerable to attack.
Okay. But neither of them are working on those rich mineral fields yet, right?
No.
So they're not really working towards that side of the map.
We see Jago mining out some of the rich mineral fields. So
Oh, interesting. So now that there's a gap there, he can send one of his guys through to build a base there, right?
yeah, he can send his units down, and he can take. We have this, this gold minerals with all the coins and everything down here in the middle, and we also
well, that
have.
seems kind of cool. He should build there.
And we also have this base, but this base is really, really open. Look at all this space around this base. This base is really hard to defend.
But it's also much closer to these rich mineral fields, right? So I imagine it's way more efficient to harvest if you've got a base right there.
This is a very aggressive place to put a base, and it looks like maybe Jago might. He's thinking about putting his third base there. Yes, very aggressive positioning from Jago. Definitely telling us that either he doesn't realize how vulnerable this base is, or he intends to take the fight to Henry, because he is expanding towards his opponent rather than...
Well, you know, not to be a mind reader, because as we all know, I am a trained mentalist. I wonder if Jago's thinking, I have been keeping Henry so far at bay with my aggression in these last few games. I actually think he's going to be too scared to come out real aggressive if I build this big base.
I think it might be fair to assume that Henry's going to try and, just build up to maximum Roach Hydra and not attack until then. But we do see Jago expanding towards his opponent, so he's really going to want to keep up the aggression. And wow, what an aggressive expansion from Henry, mining
Henry's
out
gold in them there hills, and he wants a piece
mining
of it.
out the rich minerals. And look how
God.
close these two. You can see both of the bases on the same screen.
Oh my
Definitely
Lord.
going to be some bloodshed.
They say a watch pot never boils, but this one, keep your eyes on it, folks. It is about to boil over. Oh, buddy.
So it looks like Jago has upgraded Zealot speed. He's made some immortals, so it looks like...
Ooh, that's interesting. So Jago wants to get the speed advantage back. He didn't like that last game that his units were getting outrun.
Well, Zealot speed doesn't make Zealots faster all of the time. It gives them this, charge ability where they can, run at enemies that they're attacking, but it's like a short burst of speed. It's not just speed for, constantly. But it makes them really good.
Jago has shown a proclivity towards microing his units pretty well, but that can be a double-edged sword. He can stick himself if he winds up spending too much of his time microing his units.
Let's see what
And
Henry's
I
up
think
to.
for the first time in the whole match,
Oh, an infestation
Henry is actually
pit.
the one with the big mineral surplus over Jago.
An infestation pit from Henry, so we could see maybe a rush to Hive Tech, maybe some endgame units out of our Zerg player, or we could see some infestors.
Well, this is certainly, I think, the least amount of interaction the two players have had in the first 7 minutes of the game.
Very funny that these two bases are so close to each other, and we've seen absolutely no aggression from either player on this map, where it is perfect for early and mid-game aggression.
Yeah, well, there's a saying we have in martial arts, and it's an inch is worth a mile, okay? That little band of gray space in between them is all that is keeping these two
Very
people
true.
from literally ripping each other's heads
They
off.
cannot see. Look at as I go back and forth between the players, they have no idea that the other player is right there.
So close.
Just
now,
inches away.
This middle base that Henry's built with all these gold coins and these rich minerals, is this a very good base? Is that why he's taking the risk and building it so far forward?
I mean, if Jago lets him get away with it, which he kind of is, he's definitely going to get a ton of minerals. And we see Henry's mineral bank going up to, it's been hovering over 1,000 for, about a minute. So he's definitely benefiting.
It looks like he's gaining quite a bit faster than Jago.
Absolutely benefiting. Let's go to the income tab, and actually it looks like Jago ahead on income right now, ahead on mineral income. It looks like he just has, yes, Jago up about 15 probes. So Jago has, it sort of opposite to what I was expecting, just been concentrating on his economy. He says that Henry has built up this huge, gotten to 200, this huge Roach Hydra army and just beaten him on economy. And Jago taking this game as a chance to just focus on his economy, and he's going to try and get to 200 as efficiently as he can. But we do see Jago's...
Yeah, we see his minerals starting to pile up a little bit.
Yes.
He said going into this game, he knows that he's had
and here come the Zealots, and this
around.
base is in huge trouble.
Oh, he knows.
This base is so hard to defend from all of these charged Zealots. And actually, the Zealot's kind of walking past the Queen. I think he didn't know before, but he certainly does now. And all of these drones are going to go down. And this base is doomed. This base is totally doomed. And all of the drones having to retreat. Actually, great job from Henry. And this time he brings the observers. He remembers his vulnerability to Dark Templar last game, and he doesn't want to repeat that. But
Wow, yeah. Have you ever
Jago's gonna
walked out
kill
of
the
your
base and get
driveway
away.
and found a whole new car? Because that's, I think, what Jago just did. He was like, I'm gonna run these guys around, and oh my god, what is this base doing here? Holy shnikes.
There's a giant bug infestation on my front door.
Man said, I am from Buenos Aires, and I say, kill them all!
And, wow, spending all of his money on photon cannons.
Well, I think he saw that big army by Henry that he hadn't deployed yet and said, well, if that thing comes in, I might have a few too many
Jago,
and not
Jago actually really, very far ahead right now. 70 drones, so he could just, or sorry, 70 probes. He could just stop building workers and just focus on military for the rest of the game, and I think he has a really good chance of being able to just run Henry over really, really far ahead, both on military and workers right now.
Yeah, I got a chance to catch up with Jago and Henry in between games, and Jago said that he noticed he was sort of hemorrhaging a lot of minerals, these huge mineral banks in the mid to late game, and he had a strategy for how he was going to deploy more. He said in the previous games he had been getting choked on Vespin gas, and while Henry was destroying his bases, he was actually doing a quick internal audit, trying to figure out what he was doing wrong with his base construction, and he had an idea of what he could be doing to spend some of those minerals, make a bit stronger of an overall macro game plan.
We see the classic mass zealot composition that we've seen over and over in this tournament, and all of these zealots and void rays are going to move out. They're looking for some blood. They're looking for a fight. There is no forward base.
He's walking over all those little blebs.
Henry opting to take his third base away from his opponent. Here comes the zealots and void rays against the roaches and hydras. That's a lot of hydralisks. Those void rays are going to have a really hard time fighting so many hydralisks.
Yep, but Jago seems to be confident to return to the safety of his mass amount of cannons, I think. And he thinks, I can always run these quick guys back to the safety.
We see the banks piling up. We see the armies staring at each other. We have an engagement. Losing some zealots, not a huge deal.
So far,
the Immortal, a much bigger deal.
Oh, and there's
where is the rest of...
He's baited him in!
Running into the cannon line. All of these roaches taking massive damage, but there's so many hydralisks there.
I just saw Jago typing into the Discord chat, if you see a bug...
A giant zealot counterattack coming straight for Henry's natural expansion. All of these zealots are going to tear Henry's lair apart.
Oh my god.
The Hydra's trying to come back, but it might be too late. No, it looks like he will hold on to the base. And all of these zealots will be needled to death.
Does does Henry have the speed upgrade on his units again this game?
Let's check the upgrades tab. Henry has roach speed, but not hydra speed. He has roach speed and hydra range right now. It looks like he's moving out, and now all of a sudden, Henry with a big army supply lead.
This looks like the kind of death ball that Henry has very successfully taken into
Jago really needs some Immortals and some Archons behind these Zealots, but not making any Archons this game might cost him. Here comes, oh my goodness, if he just had some Archons.
Built up to pull this off, because this looks exactly like the way Henry's
There's not nearly as many cannons here. A Void Ray's just going to get shot out of the sky. These 3 Void Rays are not going to do it against all of these Hydralisks. He really needs some Archons. All of these Hydras just pouring in, doing massive damage. And
it doesn't look like he's got
Jago's army evaporating, and it looks like this might be the series not able to stand up against the mass Hydralisk army. Void Race not the answer to this unit composition. All of these Hydras just needling everything to death. They say, Void Ray, that's cute. One flick of their spines, there goes the Void Ray.
Incredible.
And it looks like Henry is going to defeat the secret boss. He's going to...
You know what? Henry, he was in the streets, he was fighting, he was honing his strategy, sharpening his blades, and he looks like he's finally gotten a chance.
And this is exactly why you don't want to see all of these. Oh, look at all of these cannons completely useless against the army absolutely ravaging his main base.
Now, is there a chance that that base is well defended enough with all these cannons? I mean, can it hold off this army?
No. This is a maxed out Zerg army, and it doesn't, you know, you could have 20 or 30 cannons here. And the issue is that even if Henry were to lose every single one of these units, he has enough workers and enough production that he could just make another army of Hydralisks and just throw them into Jago over and over again until all of the buildings die.
I get that. I see that, yeah.
But it looks like Jago's going to try to hold on. with all of these cannons, he's going to lose the last of his probes. This might be it. This might be the end of our series, the end of our tournament, as all of the Hydralisks just needle absolutely everything to death.
Yeah, there's no way. Jago can't quite manage to build enough defensive structure to hold back.
Jago without units,
army.
without buildings. He's going to be revealed shortly. All of the cannons are going down. And we see Jago again dying with a big bank, 6,000 minerals and 3,000 gas. The downfall of so many Starcraft players is just so hard to use all of that money efficiently while you're dealing with controlling your units and not trying to die to your opponent's units. That's it. GG. That's the end of our series. Congratulations to Henry taking Jago down.
Excellent play by both players. Jago coming up with some really innovative strategies and some very cool stuff. Great play on both their ends.
And Henry just running him over with solid macro play, just maxing out on roaches and hydras and just saying, I have more stuff than you. What are you going to do about that? You're going to die. GG. What a great series. Super fun. Thank you, Mason, for casting this game with me. It was really a lot of fun. And I hope everyone else enjoyed listening. And that's going to be it. Last game of our tournament.
Everybody.
GG.
And we'll be back for the next random game tournament. Subscribe to the channel. Get ready.